Greetings, everyone. I'm Lamont Good, the founder and creator of CYBERYOGA with Neo Sutras, and I'm so happy that you all decided to take a journey with our Neo Sutras Art Wellness event. So honored to be here to present my knowledge and what I'm doing with all of the other artists. My department is in self-leadership, and this is something that I feel that's really important on how to navigate yourself and how to find more ways and more pleasurable ways to be more grounded and to hold yourself accountable. So basically, I grew up in not the most happiest homes. So my form of leadership was in a form of like watching TV, watching like cartoons, television, superheroes. In a sense, those were all my leaders and my inspiration. But I didn't really understand the concept of what it was to be a leader because I wasn't really put in positions until later on my age that I had to like essentially man up and learn how to take more responsibility and to be a leader. Was always afraid of leading others, but you can't lead others until you ultimately lead yourself. So I would say my first thing starting off, learning on this quest of self-leadership, I was really inspired by listening to a lot of great motivational speakers, Jim Rohn, Dale Carnegie, all the greats. And I was always just listening to them, gave me a lot of guidance, a lot of inspiration, a lot of motivation, because I didn't have it at the home. So I was like prematurely studying and like listening in the background. And so these amazing motivational speakers helped me get to where I am today. And I am still a student to the art of all their disciplines. So the first, I'm going to go through a list of all my favorite self-leadership qualities and things that you can work on to self-better yourself. And we'll just have fun and go from there. So again, you're always a student, never a master. So number one for me, the number one on the list for self-leadership is the intention. Always setting the intention for yourself and really having the integrity behind that. And so my intention for all of you right now is to share my knowledge of self-leadership. That's my intention. So for yourself, you have to be really honest with yourself about setting all the right intentions for what you want to do. So in this case, this topic is about self-leadership. The intention is just that and nothing else. And how are you going about it? So the intention is like you have to find ways to like navigate around that. So that's studying, that's educating yourself, surrounding yourself around great people that inspire you, that motivate you, to push you to be better in all parts of life. So I would say the intention. So your intention right now is to be a great leader for yourself. And if you want to be a leader for others, that's great. So setting that intention and having a goal, like writing it down, like what is that? What is the intention? Write down 7 to 10 different qualities of your intention towards your self-leadership. Second on the list is accountability. It's one of my favorite ones. You hold yourself accountable for everything that you do. No one else can. You can't put this on nobody else. It's about you and how you're going to navigate around the accountability aspect. Like no matter what happens, you have to be accountable for your actions and make that a point and lead with integrity and the intention. So if it's my job to make sure that I have to take my sister to say like her job, I am ultimately accountable for that action. I'm not going to put it on someone else or then blame someone else for that not happening. So it's really about keeping myself accountable and just working on that. And like, what are the different ways that you can exercise accountability? Like if you want to work out, you have to hold yourself accountable for getting to a certain max size, putting on weight, or like learning a new dance move. I'm an artist dancer, so I'm always holding myself accountable for things that I have to learn, or learning a new lift or dance sequence with my partner. So I'm accountable for all those things. So if I set the intention, it's my duty to hold myself accountable. So, and what that looks like, how does that work? The third on this list is courage. Having the courage to do things. Stepping outside of your comfort zone. Stepping outside of your own flaws or your own patterns or your own defaults. You have to find ways to be courage, and that's where the self-leadership comes in, and therefore you can lead others. Even just me learning, my goal right now in the future is to become a motivational speaker. So I have the courage. I believe in myself. I know that I can do it. I believe in myself, so I have the courage to do it. I challenged myself literally like a couple weeks ago about in the cryotherapy. I was always afraid of getting in the cold. I never liked the cold. And my wife, Paula, inspired me to, hey, like, you can do it. You know, there's a lot of benefits behind it, but you have to put the courage behind it. And once you take the leap of faith with courage, there's always these amazing rewards around that. It's so incredible. So I took the courage to get into a cryotherapy chamber. And in the room, I was in the beginning, I was freaking out, but it was so amazing when I came out because I had the courage to do it. I challenged myself. I knew that I was going to be okay, but we always get in our heads. And so the courage aspect, what I'm sharing right now, is very important. And you know, it's important for you to find 7 to 10, or I say this 7. Find 7 different ways of courage. Like, what is it that you want to do? Like, what is not allowing you to do? And use the courage frequency or the name or the intention, the integrity of courage. Like, what are you going to do and how are you going to navigate around that? That's one of my favorites as well. And so, this is a great one. Self-control. So when I grew up, I wasn't always in the best of family structures. So I had a lot of anger, a lot of rage, all this trauma I was dealing with. And so self-control for me was really difficult. Not getting angry or just blowing a fuse or getting out of character. So it's really about learning self-control. And that comes with self-leadership. The self-leadership aspect allows you to focus on self-control, which is really important. Allowing yourself to be present and to really analyze every situation, and with the intention of a positive reaction, like finding different ways to self-control. That means like you have to humble yourself. You have to always focus on doing the self-work, and that means letting go of past traumas, meditation, yoga, whatever it is, finding different ways to focus on your self-control. And so this is something that you have to practice on and work on every day. It's not going to be the most easiest thing in the world, but this is one aspect that you should definitely write down and definitely emphasize on and work down. So what are like 7 different ways that you can focus on or find ways about self-control? That could be like overeating or overworking out or getting too angry or being too hard on yourself. Like the self-control, all of that is really important. So just finding those very beneficial and therapeutic ways about self-control will allow you to get closer towards self-leadership. Another one, one of my favorites too, I like this one. It's about making solid decisions. That means being firm in what you believe in and executing that decision. So you have to, we're in this age where a lot of things are kind of like unbalanced or disbalanced, and you have to make a decision and be very firm on what you want to do. If you make a decision, you have to go with it, and being very firm with that. And that's one of the great traits of self-leadership and leadership for others. So if I'm going to plan a trip with my wife, and that means that I'm going to do it. I'm not going to change my mind. I'm not going to be wishy-washy about it. Like, I made a point to make a solid decision and be firm with it. And that's just one of the great, again, I can emphasize that those are one of the great qualities of your self-leadership, your self-empowerment. And therefore, if you can master this trait and this skill, you can learn to lead others. And so this is really powerful. I grew up just always very indecisive, not really sure what side to be on, if I want to do this or do that. But once you're in your purpose and your passion, you'll know right away. And so once you're convinced and you just know where you are and where you want to be, that's when you can make the solid decision. So that's one of the great aspects of this talk for the self-leadership. So definitely practice that. And again, write down 1 through 7 different ways of how you can demonstrate on how making a solid decision. That means hitting a deadline, getting this job done, paying off this ticket, or making sure that you show up for somebody when they needed it and you said you was never going to be there. Make a solid decision. Be there. Be firm. Be strong. Another one, it's my favorite. In leadership and some things you do, you should always go the extra mile. Your job as a leader for yourself, you should always go the extra mile for yourself. That means always take the extra running lap or get in that extra rep, or maybe stay in that extra hour, or make another connection, or stay on the computer for a couple more hours, to find the lead or whatever it is. It's always a good investment to always go the extra mile. And this is a trait that's never going to let you down. I've always lived by this, so I never really had this problem. But like usually, I can elaborate on my form of training. When I train very hard, and so sometimes I tend to go the extra mile because I know that extra mile is always going to pay off in the long run. So you're not only doing it for others, but you're doing it for yourself. You should always go the extra mile for yourself because it's always going to take you that extra step further. I love that. Another one here is the keen sense of justice. Well, it's kind of like you should always stand up for what you believe in and stand firm on your square. You should never let nobody bully you around or try to tell you otherwise. Like, stick by your morals and stick by your justice. Like, when you feel that something is wrong, you should always stand up for what's right. And how to navigate it is always ways around that, but I'm saying just always stand up for what's right. If you see that someone is being bullied, you can stand up for what's right. Maybe that's a very basic example, but I'm always going to stand up for what's right for myself, believe in myself, honor and respect myself. So that's really important. And that's one of the great ways, great aspects for self-leadership. This is how you become a great leader, and you're constantly in a state of learning. So for me, I was always, can't say always, but I usually would not really stand up for myself or not, or typically not step in when someone needed me there or doing what's right. So I am making a point in my life now to lead by example by always sharing and promoting by leading by example and doing what's right. So always staying king of justice. So just making sure that you stand by your lane, believe in yourself, and always stand up for what's right. Another one on the list is, develop yourself daily. That means you should always be in a constant state of learning. That's reading, that's working out, or learning a new skill, a new trade, or being, most importantly, having your mind open enough to want to learn new things. This is important. This is vital. So the only thing in life is change, is constant change. And so you can be grounded and have a foundation, but really always be about learning and kindly stay in the state of always focusing on this daily update. Okay, so upgrade yourself, daily upgrade. So studying, whatever it is. I'm a Taurus, so I typically am very stubborn, but I learned that it's really important to always learn new things. And thanks to my wife, and life showed me I had to like constantly work on myself. And so just make that a point about daily development. It's really important. And as a leader for yourself, you have to always learn new things. So that way, if you want to end up coaching others or inspiring others, you have to lead by example. And how that works is that you have to consume more information, download more information that's going to benefit you, yourself, and your family, and all the other things. So really just make that a point. Write down 1 through 7 different ways of how I can develop myself daily. Because if you can develop yourself, you can develop others. Another one on the list is becoming valuable. So that means that you're an asset to other people or yourself. Like you don't want to navigate this life not being of value for yourself or for other people. Like, what are you bringing to someone? Like, what kind of information or what kind of light or what kind of energy are you bringing to others? And most importantly for yourself, because we have to develop a relationship with ourselves and then with others. So if you can become valuable for yourself and ultimately practice that and focus on that, then you would do it for others. So that means, like an example would say, if you're showing up to a meeting, you can be valuable just by bringing your positive energy or your good energy, your like constructive energy that you're going to empower or motivate or to inspire somebody. You know, people feed off your energy. So what value, or your knowledge, like if you're well versed in something and you can bring a whole new concept to the table, that's going to be very beneficial to the partners or clients, but most importantly for yourself. So always focus on becoming valuable. Okay. My favorite of all time is leading by example. Leading by example is like you have to practice what you preach. So if you're out in public and you're talking about what you're doing online or at a seminar, and someone sees you off the street and you're not that person, it's not a good look. So you have to always lead by example. Like what you practice is what you preach. Okay, really important to keep that. Those are great qualities of self-leadership and becoming a leader for others. And another one, my favorite too, is great leaders do not react, they respond. So even for yourself, life can be challenging, life can be very hard, but usually we get in this, something happens, an event happens, and you get angry. You have the option to choose and how to react or respond. And usually how you respond in a more positive manner is going to dictate that event or that situation. So always make it a point to think about when something happens, whatever, good, bad, whatever, just think about how you're going to respond to it versus just reacting. And typically my ways in the past was very negative. I would complain or get mad, but now it's about, hey, how am I going to find a solution? What can I do to make this situation better? Another one too is apologize and admit your faults. Great leaders take responsibility for their actions. So if you've hurt somebody, or if you wronged somebody in the past, or in the present, or any situation, always make it a point to apologize and to make amends. It's always to admit yourself when you're wrong, as a man or as a woman, whatever it is, but you have to make sure that you admit your faults and always apologize to move forward. Those are great self-leadership qualities and leadership qualities for other people. Another one, my favorite, find solutions. So we tend to always complain about things. And my thing is always about, okay, there's the problem, it's the situation, but what is the solution? So my point now in my self-leadership and leadership for others is about finding a solution to every problem. Okay, the tire is popped, what can I do about it? Finding the solution, or something has happened, or the mail didn't come, or something. Find a way. So again, now I'm responding to a situation, and then I'm going to find a solution. And that's another great key aspect for self-leadership and leadership for others. We're getting close to 20 minutes. Wow, it went by so fast. I'm going to add just two more, and then we're going to go. And I want to thank you so much for taking your time out and just allowing me to share my information and knowledge with you all. The Neo Sutras Art Wellness is all about this, about integrity, love, upgrade. My last two is you want to focus on self-love and self-work, okay? If you want to be a self-leader, focus on self-leadership and leadership for others, you have to make sure that you focus on self-love. That means working on yourself. Self-work, self-work, self-love. That way you can navigate yourself in a more positive and a more holistic way. Therefore, you can lead others because the intention is set to love yourself and to honor and respect yourself. So that's really important. And again, write down a list of like 1 through 7 of different ways and qualities that you can focus on self-love and self-work. Like, what departments are you not working on? What departments of love you're not working on for yourself and for others? Make that a point. And my last one is you have to focus. Well, this is the CYBERYOGA philosophy and the Neo Sutras philosophy about the upgrade, mental, physical, and spiritual upgrade. Really important, those three. This is the way of yoga about mastering yourself and upgrading yourself and bettering yourself. So mental, physical, and spiritual. The mental minds is all the work, the trauma, working on it, releasing, moving forward, being a leader for yourself, for others, honoring yourself, respecting yourself, right? That's for the mental. And then the physical, what is it? It's working out, eating right, yoga, diet, dancing, whatever it is, movement. We all know that movement is essentially medicine. So make that a point too. And the most important part, the third one, is spirituality. The spirituality is what grounds you. It's your moral, it's your integrity, it's what you live by, it's what gets you up. The spirit, the spirituality is a huge part of, is the number one. And so spirituality completely changed my life and allowed me to be more present, more peaceful. And if it wasn't for that, I don't know, I'm so grateful. But again, the spirituality aspect, just connecting with nature, yourself, loved ones, being in tune with everything, being conscious, consuming everything conscious, you know, in my perspective, you know, there is a God. I don't know, I can't really comprehend what it is, but there is a God, I do believe. But the God state, and what is that? That's love, and that's compassion, that's empathy, constant upgrade. So those three for the upgrade, for the mental, physical, and spiritual upgrade is a must. And go through each one of these and make sure you practice it daily. It's really important. You can't do them all in one day, but maybe take one day. You know, one day is just one of the aspects that you can work on. And write down that list and make sure you work at it and cultivate it. So again, I want to thank you so much for taking your time out. And we really appreciate you all. And we're looking forward to sharing more knowledge with all of you. And remember that we all love you. And my last message is to honor and love and respect yourself. Therefore, you can love others. Sending love. Thank you so much. CYBERYOGA and Neo Sutras. Neo Sutras Art Wellness. Blessings.